Ukraine's Cold War hawks are back, and they're still killing Russian drones. Big news out of Brussels this month. And no, it's not about waffles or bureaucratic red tape. The Dutch Minister of Defense, Ruben Brekelmans, announced that the Netherlands will deliver IHOK air defense systems to Ukraine, backed by 150 million euros in support. And let me tell you, this couldn't come at a better time. Russia's relentless daily barrage of Shahed drones, cruise missiles, and guided glide bombs is putting enormous pressure on Ukraine's air defense net. The Patriots are doing what they can, but Ukraine needs something it can deploy in numbers. Something rugged, something proven, something that can swat drones, knock out low-flying aircraft, and maybe even ruin a Russian bomber pilot's day. Enter the Hawk. In fact, there just might be enough of these systems in storage to blanket all of Ukraine and truly close the skies. Hey friends, West here, Army and Air Force veteran, journalist, law guy, and strong believer in the power of old missiles made new again. Today, we're going to break down why this Cold War relic is turning into a critical piece of Ukraine's modern survival strategy, and how the Netherlands is quietly becoming one of Ukraine's most important defense partners. Let's talk context. Since the start of the full-scale invasion, the Netherlands has been punching way above its weight. They've already pledged 24 F-16 fighter jets, co-funded combat drone development, supplied artillery, and sent components for Patriot batteries. Total military aid? Carry the one, around 10 billion euros. And now they're filling one of Ukraine's most glaring capability gaps: medium-range, mobile, radar-guided air defense. This isn't some politician's vanity project. This is operational thinking. The Hawk might not win any design awards in 2025, but it will absolutely win the attention of any Russian pilot or drone operator who thinks Ukrainian skies are undefended. Let's talk about what Ukraine's actually getting. The IHOK, short for Improved Homing All the Way Killer, and yes, that's a real acronym, is a Cold War-era medium-range air defense system originally designed by the United States in the 1960s and upgraded repeatedly into the 1990s. It was retired from most NATO inventories in favor of newer systems like the Patriot, but a funny thing happened. The missiles, the radars, and the launchers weren't destroyed. They were mothballed, put into storage, gathering dust. And when Russia started attacking Ukraine's grid, hospitals, and logistics hubs with daily missile barrages, those dusty Cold War relics suddenly looked a lot more like opportunity than excess. The IHOK is radar-guided, mobile, and semi-automated, and most importantly, it's effective. Let's break down how it works. First, its tracking and engagement capabilities. The IHOK uses a series of radars, one to detect, one to track, and one to guide. That means it can continuously update the missile mid-flight, adjusting to maneuvering targets like cruise missiles or loitering munitions, trying to corkscrew their way out of a hit. That real-time correction capability is one of the reasons why it still works. These aren't dumb fire-and-forget munitions. Once locked, the missile can make adjustments mid-flight, even in cluttered environments. Second, rapid fire. Unlike single-shot systems, the IHOK batteries can fire multiple missiles at once against swarm attacks, a Russian specialty that matters. Third, layered tracking. Modernized IHOK variants can track multiple targets across different altitudes and vectors. This is critical in an environment where Ukraine might be facing simultaneous attacks from drones, cruise missiles, and possibly even helicopters trying to sneak in low, all coming from multiple directions. In other words, this is not a one-trick pony. And it gets better. The IHOK doesn't require a massive support footprint. It's mobile, it's resilient, and it's semi-independent. You don't need dozens of support vehicles, you don't need an airfield infrastructure, you don't need an MIT-trained software engineer on standby. Ukrainian forces can move it, can hide it, can reposition it, and can reload it using basic military trucks and local power supplies. It's a workhorse, not a show pony. And the Netherlands isn't just donating the system, they're committing money, 150 million euros, to make sure the whole package comes together. radars, spare parts, technical training, and even the logistics pipeline to keep these systems operational for the long haul. They're also coordinating with the UK to ensure parts support and launchers are pooled, not duplicated. This kind of cooperation is exactly the kind of battlefield efficiency that Ukraine has mastered, but Europe is just now catching up to. Let's pause here. A lot of people look at the IHOK and they dismiss it. It's Cold War junk, they say. It's outdated. But here's the truth. In the Gulf War, Kuwait's IHOK batteries shot down over 20 Iraqi aircraft. These Iraqi aircraft are of Soviet designs, the same thing Russia is flying today in Ukraine. In Israel, Taiwan, and Greece, the IHOKs have remained operational and even combat relevant well into the 2000s. And now in Ukraine, they're getting a second life because they still work. So let's talk resilience. Unlike a Patriot battery, which is basically a strategic Fabergé egg, the IHOK is expendable. It can take a hit. It can be repositioned, rearmed, and brought back online with a skeleton crew. And here's the kicker. There's a global surplus of IHOK parts and trained technicians. This isn't just a system, it's an ecosystem. You can refurbish old missiles, cannibalize broken launchers, keep them in the fight with a multimeter and elbow grease. The US even recently reopened a HAWK missile refurbishment facility in Oklahoma last year to support Ukraine and others using the system. This means Ukraine isn't just getting a one-time aid drop. They're getting access to a global pipeline of support that can stretch for years. And in this kind of war, that's priceless. Okay, so let's talk strategy. Ukraine needs air defense coverage everywhere. Not just at power plants, not just at cities, but at field headquarters, bridges, rail nodes, and forward supply points. The expensive stuff like Patriots and NASAMS can't be everywhere. But IHOKs, they can be just about anywhere. Think about it. A Shahed drone costs maybe 20 grand. A cruise missile like the KH-101 runs a few million. If a HAWK takes either of those out with a refurbished missile from a Cold War stockpile, that's a win on every level. It's scalable, it's sustainable, and it's lethal. Let's not forget, this is a war of logistics. Russia fires hundreds of missiles per month. Ukraine needs interceptors it can field in bulk. Systems it can fix in country. Missiles it can reload quickly. The IHOK gives them that. And now, thanks to the Netherlands, they've got more of it. This isn't about glamour, it's about function. And the IHOK functions exactly the way Ukraine needs it to. Kill the target, survive the day, repeat tomorrow. When the history of this war is written, Patriots will get the headlines for shooting down a hypersonic Kinzhal, and NASAMS will make the charts. But the system that actually saved the most lives might just be the humble, stubborn Cold War-era missile batteries that did their job quietly and consistently. That's the power of adaptation. That's the value of redundancy. That's what happens when nations like the Netherlands step up with not just big promises, but practical solutions. And for Russia, well, it's another reminder that the skies over Ukraine are getting more dangerous by the day. Next up, I say we blanket the entire country with HAWKs the US has in storage. Absolutely close the skies to Russia. That's my suggestion anyways. That's it for today, friends. Subscribing is the best way to help this channel survive the algorithm and keep me off whatever weird career path awaits washed-up military analysts. And as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.